I'm Mary, 68. The atmosphere at the Hillside Country Club was electric, but it was a charged kind of energy, the kind that crackles before a storm. It was my grandson Leo's graduation dinner, a moment that should have been filled with pride and celebration. Leo, fresh out of Yale Law School with a full scholarship, sat at the head of our table, his eyes shining with the promise of a bright future. But then, like a dark cloud rolling in, my daughter-in-law, Vivian, decided to rain on our parade. "You embarrass me. I'm disgusted by you," she hissed, her voice cutting through the air like a knife. I just smiled. I'd been waiting for this moment for months. I caught the eye of our waiter, Tom, and gave him a subtle nod. The soft jazz playing in the background faded away, and a video started playing on the large flat screen TV on the far wall. Vivian's face paled as she recognized the scene. There she was, sitting in a lawyer's office 6 months ago, cold and calculating. "Completely," she said on the screen. "I don't want her to have any legal claim to contact or visitation. As far as I'm concerned, I never had a daughter." The blood drained from Vivian's face, and she stumbled backward, gripping the table for support. "For months ago, I was pruning roses in my garden when the doorbell rang. A man named Carl, in his late 50s, stood at my door. He was wearing a well-worn brown suit and carried a battered briefcase. I'd hired him after my neighbor, Betty, mentioned seeing Vivian at a law office downtown. Vivian had never said a word about any legal matters to the family, and it set off alarm bells in my head. Carl sat at my kitchen table and opened his briefcase. "Mrs. Thompson, what I found is pretty extensive," he said. He pulled out a thick manila folder. "Once you see this, you can't unsee it." I took a deep breath and nodded. I'd been married twice, lost one husband, and raised 3 children. I knew that the truth, no matter how ugly, was better than living a lie. The first document was a petition for the termination of parental rights, dated 2 years ago. Vivian had a daughter from a previous relationship named Lily. Lily was 24 now, working 2 jobs in Boston to finish community college. She'd been left in the care of an elderly aunt who passed away when Lily was 17. Since then, she'd been completely on her own. Carl explained that Vivian saw Lily as a liability. Lily was getting older, more independent, and starting to ask questions about her father and Vivian's past. Vivian wanted a clean slate with my son, Mark, and Leo, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get it. Carl also had video footage from the law office. Watching Vivian on the video, so cold and detached as she talked about cutting off all ties with Lily, made my blood boil. I knew I had to expose her for who she really was. I hired Carl to find Lily and learn more about her. I discovered that she was a hard, working, determined young woman, working as a night shift nurse and a weekend tutor. She lived in a tiny apartment that ate up most of her income, but she was making it work. After the video played at the graduation dinner, Vivian tried to defend herself. "It was complicated," she stammered. She was going through a difficult phase. But Mark and Leo could see the truth. Mark's face went from shock to anger as he realized what his wife had done. "Get out," Mark said quietly but firmly. "Get out of my house and my life." Vivian's eyes widened in disbelief. "You can't do this. Half of everything is mine." But Mark just shook his head. "The prenup works both ways. Your actions are a clear case of fraud." 2 weeks later, Lily showed up at my door. She was a bit nervous, but had a quiet strength about her. "Mrs. Thompson, I think we need to talk," she said. I invited her in and told her everything I knew. She was heartbroken but also relieved to finally know the truth. There was a family gathering at Mark's house a few days later. It was supposed to be a time to heal, but when Lily walked in, the atmosphere changed completely. Vivian's face turned white as a sheet, and she looked like a cornered animal. Lily spoke up, her voice steady. "I'm not here for revenge. I just want my half-brother to know the truth about our mother. And I want to make sure this never happens to him." Over the next few months, things changed for the better. Lily transferred to a local school, and Mark helped her with tuition. Leo and Lily bonded quickly, and it was like watching a missing piece of the family puzzle fall into place. The divorce was finalized, and Vivian disappeared from our lives. Our family was stronger than ever, more honest and open with each other. As I stood in my kitchen making dinner for my family, I looked around at Mark, Leo, and Lily, and I knew that this was the real family, not the one Vivian had tried to create through lies and manipulation. Now, I wonder what you would do if you were in my shoes. Have you ever faced a similar situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out 2 other amazing stories on the final screen. Thank you for listening.